every client is the same. Many clients have multiple properties, multiple mortgages. We need to take into consideration all of their liabilities and what to do with them. And even the most diligent of mortgage professionals may overlook an opportunity or a certain lender at times. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Sally. Sally owns her home in Toronto. Since the kids have grown up, she'd like to move into a smaller place. She also realizes that prices are going to continue to rise. So she's thinking about renting her place out and buying another one to live in. She also has an investment property in Vancouver and a couple of liabilities, like her car loan and her visa. Before she engages her realtor, she'd like to know what her maximum purchase price is. Starting with the subject property, she'll need to enter some important details, like the location, whether or not she's a first-time home buyer, the type of property, and her future plans for it. For example, she's planning to live there. She'll also need to enter her down payment information. In order for the app to accurately calculate the best possible purchase price for Sally, she'll need to enter any existing property details as well, like the location, the property type, mortgage and HELOC information like balances, rates, monthly payments. She'll also need to add any additional expenses, including her property taxes, heat, insurance, and any other monthly costs that are related to that property. And she'll need to indicate the future plans. For example, in this situation, she's planning on taking that property from living in it to renting it out. Of course, we'll include Sally's rental income. Sally will need to do this for all of her properties that she currently owns. Next, we'll look at the liabilities. For debts, credit cards, current balances, she'll need to do that for all of her outstanding debts. Then we'll enter her employment status, her total annual income, and finally, her credit rating. With all of these initial details, the app will accurately calculate a maximum purchase price for Sally. And in this situation, it's around $940,000. Now that we have the initial pre-qual amount of $940,000, let's move on to Advanced Edit Pro to dig deeper. In the top right-hand corner, there's a gray square. Tapping this allows you to see the full details of the GDS TDS breakdown. You can see that the Visa card was calculated at the minimum 3% and the BMW at the regular monthly payment of $1,200. You could also see that a shortfall of $26,000 was deducted from Sally's income. To look into this further, you can move on to properties. Oftentimes, people default to TD or Scotia because they're easy to understand, or maybe we're more familiar with them. These clearly provided a lower maximum purchase price for Sally. However, ICICI gave the maximum purchase price of $940,000. Now let's take a look at what will happen if we simulate Sally's debts as paid off. Starting with her Visa, I'm going to simulate as paid off and deduct from funds. And if I move over to the applicant section in the app, you can see that the $5,000 was deducted from Sally's funds. Now let's see what happens if we try that with the car loan. Once again, simulate as paid and deduct from funds, and under applicant, you can see that Sally's available funds have been reduced. Now moving on to qualification. Let's dig a little bit deeper by turning off auto and adding a 50-50 GDS TDS. And also, what if you have the opportunity to work with a credit union and you can use the contract MQR rate? Simply turn on contract MQR rate and see what happens to the pre-qualification amounts. Lastly, let's look at the closing costs. Now, the actual closing costs are important. We probably want to let Sally know that that's the amount that she'll need. But if the lender requirement is 1.5%, we can simply select there and watch her maximum purchase price increase. Considering we started with 940,000 and we've now found 1.3 and change, I think we did a pretty good job of helping Sally to get a higher maximum purchase price.